Welcome. Well, we're supposed to, we're going to hear something just part two and a little different. But again, I'm hoping that this will represent an example, a way, and makes room for a new regime in dealing with those that have committed offenses. Certainly those that aren't more violent and can be dealt with or mitigated through alternative methods that we have now that do not serve us properly and adequately. So hang on a sec, we're going to buffer something. Keep your mind open, no judgment, no condemnation, anything of the sort will be dealt with in rebuttal, which is unnecessary. Just listen and say nothing. And put God in the center of it. Okay, here we go. So now, going forward in the next couple of weeks, you pray and hope that there aren't any police knocking on my door, for your sake. Let's hope they don't come knocking on my door ever with 6 AK-47s at my face. Because for every person that sends a police officer to me with a rifle will be that person responsible for seeing that person die. That's me, right? You put police in this here again, in my home, they're going to have to use their weapon. You put police in here, what you do is you say, I have decided to let my son die today. Just keep that in mind. Make your moves cautious and slow. Okay? I am in no position to entertain anyone coming within a 1,000-meter radius of me without flags waving. Consider that a restraining order. Any authority, any military will come to me unarmed. And if they come to me armed, now you got a problem, because someone's going to die. It doesn't have to. And then they're going to go back into a court and explain why they have this overuse of force and this ability and sense that they can just do whatever the fuck they want in your home, and you, and your life and everything, and that's okay. So yeah, 6 o'clock, very, very real, like, you know, as it was this morning. I hope you had a good afternoon. I hope you played all of this, and everyone had a chance to hear everything, and it went down the way I would have expected it to. You know, I feel okay. Now, that was your chance to do everything the right way. You don't get another one. That was your family intervention. Okay? Not another chance until you come back and do your thing or in court. And I wake up tomorrow, I don't know, I may go to the church. I will bring my phone. I will go and I will say nothing. See if anyone says anything. I'll go through the whole thing. And if by the end of the meeting no one said anything to me, I will then stand up and I will do the dramatics. I'll take my cell phone here. Say, guys, this cell phone here holds the lives of 4 men and their futures. It will be dealt with here or in a court. I'm here. Do we deal with this here? Or do I take the phone where it then has to go and watch 4 people be removed for quite some time? How do you want to deal with this? See, I'm still back at that. I already know they found their pastor. It just won't get it into my head because everyone's told me so long you can't and won't and never will be and worthy of being a pastor. It's funny that those voices were not the voices out there, only the voices closest to me. So I made my case. Church got 1 week, you got 2, and if Jennifer doesn't come back and admit that she is not doing things right, there will be a family challenge, an attempt to take, and this is going to suck for him because, you know, this is the problem, the Derek mommy bond, that's got to break, you know, but here's the deal. If Jennifer wants to conduct the way she's doing and let this younger fella do it and let him go and say she's the right parent, I'll be going before court and I'll be asking for custody. Of course I won't get it with nothing in the way I live, but with $30 million beside me, it won't be hard when I find a judge that sees a woman sending her son and daughter to satanic evil people to be controlled and run and manipulated. Wow. Wow, that is some truth, right?
$30 million. I'll take your Derek. I'll pull him right out of that corrupt indoctrination system you got him going in through. And I'll make sure he's well homeschooled by very, very knowledgeable people who are not bent on a false reality. I'll make sure he gets the right training for you. I'll make sure he gets fed, gets fed and gets the money, the education, you know. But at least he's not going to be brought up to think that magic and spells and potions and do as thou wilt is not going to be normal. It's not going to be acceptable. It's not going to be tolerated. Your sense of parenting, what you allow your sons to watch and say that this is good. No, you're a bad parent. You're a witch promoting witchcraft. And you got occult items all over your place with your Harry Potters and everything that's Disney. All your angels, all your snow globes. They all hold energy. They all are open portals to things you don't want to have in your home. The naive, stupid. You got a good, happy family, right? Well, when everything is not happy and when you're all up in an uproar, there could be a couple reasons for it. The spiritual environment in your home. Okay? And the saturation of EMF and MF radiation coming from all the frickin' cell towers, which have a very big effect on your body, being 70% water and 0.3 to 2% metals that are reacting with the frequencies in the air. I sent you to my MySpace, to my YouTube page, because you think I'm a quack because of this tinfoil hat thing. Well, there you got scientific data. You got other people saying I'm not a quack. Actually, I'm 15 years ahead of you. And maybe that's why you don't understand me and don't treat me right. But tomorrow morning, like I say, there'll be money in my bank somehow, and everyone will treat me right when I leave that church or I go to court with this.
I mean business, and there's a professional having to do what he doesn't want to have to do. One of those so-called introverted moments as a leader. Made very extroverted.
Furthermore, any police officer, any pastor, anybody that wants to come here, they will call first and ask for an invitation, and if it's okay. I don't give a shit who you are. No one comes here and knocks on this door, breaks down this door without an invitation, and anyone who does, it's boom, 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 boom. First, questions later. Hey, you come into my home, you're breaking and entering, you deserve to be punched out and shot, killed, whatever. You're in my space. You're threatening my space. Get out of my space or I'm going to hurt you. Get it? There's no reason or ground for anyone to be in here except for those who want to support me. Firmly.
This is basically your restraining order. This isn't just your family or anyone else.
I mean, you and Mom and Jen, you want to come here, you call. Because we're at a point now where any knocks on the door when we're not expecting it, it's not dealt with like just a neighbor or a misplaced knock on the door. You understand? When anyone comes around and looks at us funny or they're out of place now, they don't get dealt with like normal people. No. If I see somebody in a street and he's got a camera, and he's focusing it every time I look at him. No. What I do is I run to that guy, I take the camera out of his hand, I smash it, I hold him for the police. Okay? You don't know that how. Give me what I need, make sure I'm happy, and if you can't do it, find someone to do it. Right? I don't want to have to keep repeating myself. I just can't express to you how important it is that someone get me what I need without me having to ask or go to a court for it. And don't push or try. I mean, make this easy. Find people to make it easy, man.
Solution, looking for a solution, eh? So we give it to God. God, bring us a solution. Let's see where this goes. What do you got for me?
So again, anyone that shows up here starts knocking on doors and they're not expected, okay, they are to be pre-considered a threat. And we know of only two of the people that knock on our door. We know what the door sounds like, and they both live here. So understand, my door has no knocks on it except for two people that I know of, unless I say so. My phone doesn't ring for any other reason than, Sean, can we help you? You are not in any trouble. We are here to help you. Understand what I'm telling you. This apartment is off limits to everybody and anybody and any authority and all authority that thinks they're Canada. This apartment is a state. This is my state. This is my country. This is Shandia right here. Okay? Shandia right here.
And we're not no compound. There's nothing here. It's just little old moi.
This is a place I own. You do not penetrate. You do not come in. You do not violate. You do not anything, but just stay away. Unless you're invited. It's clear, right? I'm not speaking to you, Dad. This is for everybody. It's clear. Now, there's nothing that the police are going to be able to do about this. They're going to get something. Okay? Yes, this is the one that's intended to go publicly. The police are going to get something. There's nothing they can do about it. The doctors are going to get something. There's nothing they can do about it. It's how they deal with it. They can form an alliance, or they can be taken out and be left with nothing, as I've already prescribed. I'm not going to be nice anymore. It's not possible. Okay? People don't allow me to be professional. They're too spoiled.
You got the wrong impression. Too many people have the wrong impression and left too many bad paperwork and a record that follows me, which is now suable typically by the world. I resume, it's just buffering.
So just know that episode with 6 police officers coming in, that is going to be fully picked apart and addressed. Okay, that trauma, that was violent. That should have been an SIU investigation, which was asked for, that never happened. Okay? So, I don't even have to work for this. I really don't. I don't have to do anything. You just hold me back because you're not giving me the means to get it done, right? To get us forward, to get us our blessings, to get us the power so we can turn things around. You can't expect me to do anything in the position I'm in with what I got. A nation that needs me, and no one else is going to do this, is holding me down. They don't realize it. Anyway, I did put something on my Twitter page, and I know that there's investigations ongoing with all these bigwigs down in the States. You're big preachers now and that. Okay, like, it's obviously their money's not coming in from commercial that's donation plate donations that they're getting, that church. Yeah, and that church, they're not getting $100 donations. They're getting thousands of dollars of donations in their plates, and it goes in that way so that you don't know that it's coming from where it's coming from. You see, it's kind of a nice, easy way to launder money. Kind of a criminal enterprise passing of money to a man that's now being a criminal, making us look ridiculous. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, there's a real good word for a guy like that that's paid off to make the real deal look absolutely ridiculous while he takes everything from him. Oh, I think I do need to take this to a police station. Yeah. In the next 2 weeks, no, not a police station. I think I'm just going to take this to the head crown attorney's office. No, then they'd start putting people in jail, prosecuting people without me. No, I can't do that. Let me think a sec.
It's a good thing I have friends in high places and a couple of judges in high court. I hope are still alive, as I'll be calling them back to do a very special task if it's so necessary. We're buffering, I resume. Hopefully I haven't missed one.
So that's right. Right here, this is the Christian Vatican. That's what I am looking at it. This is the Christian Vatican. And it will be looked at and treated and respected with given autonomy as such. Just because it's not a formal building with lots of pretty colors and stones and gold does not mean that God does not live here. I can tell you, God does not live in the Sistine Chapel. God does not live in St. Peter's Square. You know who lives there? On that big, huge chair like the size of a giant? The very people who actually sit there once upon a time that were actually giants. Very bad, evil ones. Evil giants. Beside a history in Enoch. There's a book for you to pick up. Your next book? Go get a book of Enoch. Okay? That's an awesome read. And by the time you get through that, you're going to hate the church, you're going to hate the seminary, you're going to hate everyone that thing was Christian that was above you. And you're going to say, shame on you for holding all of this back. I wish I could do something tonight. Go somewhere, do something. This sucks. Can't even be sociable. Can't even get out anywhere to get anywhere sociable. Too exhausted and too tired to be anything but dull and boring. Deb's coming back tomorrow morning. She's not staying until the 27th. It was a missed ticket, a wrong purchase. So she'll be back tomorrow. She's going to be on her way all on her own to get up to town.
Bringing a young lady I'm taking care of home. That's what she is. Just a friend and a very special friend I'm taking care of for the interim. We'll see where it goes.
If I do get to the church on Tuesday, I'll just be walking in and walking out. I won't say anything. I'm probably just not going to until they make a comment to say, are you okay? You know? I'm just going to walk in canatonically and just, as if I'm a probe. Just walk in the building, doing nothing but watching, collecting. Kind of ignoring, just you know, not being rude, but not really engaging. And then, of course, we see someone embrace me or something. Well, maybe this will be a completely different day tomorrow. One would hope. I don't expect it. Let's hope so, because it doesn't happen. I don't expect that there'll be money in my bank tomorrow, so it's doesn't look very good. I got a lot of faith in God. I just have no faith in men whatsoever. So I hope this is loud enough. I'm not exactly speaking right into the microphone. Looking at impeachment inquiries now. I made a nice couple of posts. I'm now ordering the removal and the prosecution of this Pelosi and Hillary Clinton. I want them gone. I want them done. I don't know why they're just keeping them there. You just got to get the right people that are going to put their lives on the line and take this woman out. No problem. Once she's gone, and once Obama's gone, and they're all diffused, then I can go down to the States and I won't have to worry. Until those two are out, there's no chance of going to the States, even if I'm invited. If I'm invited, that's a trap. All right? I will not be invited. I will not go to the States right now. That's why I say don't go to the States. Why would you go from heaven down to hell? Why would you do that? And take your chances. It's very volatile now.
Ain't that the truth, Richie? Ain't that the truth, Dana? Ain't that the truth? Never lose truth.
So thank you, God, for such a weird day. Thank you, God, that my life sucks. Because at least I appreciate the fact that everyone else has something that they don't appreciate. I don't think there's anything more I need to say. If you haven't been able to come on my side now, you're never going to come on it. It's just not possible. Because you need to have that faith, and you need to have that, well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you don't have that, you're not qualifiable to be worthy. To be my father, mother, be with me, fight with me, defend with me, speak against me. You're in no position to do anything but sit down and take what's coming to you or being taken from you. Because when that happens, at least it'll come back and it'll be given back properly, and everyone will get what they need. No more toys, no more electronic gadgets and bells and whistles, and while I'm starving. You heard it. Too many toys, too many needs unfulfilled. Therefore, we removed the toys because we didn't earn them. We were just spoiled with them. But you did earn a son, and you got to come through there. So Priorities, man. I put your life before my own at this point, but, 2 weeks, I take my life back, put mine before yours. Right now, your fight is not with me. Your fight now is with the police, okay? Not because of me. Because you gotta find yourself a way to keep yourself from going to jail if you're culpable of the law. Alright? And Jennifer...
This is biblically what we call the heart of the sons to the fathers, the heart of the fathers to the sons. This is also what we term where the student returns to the teacher, which is where we're at now. Hang on, we're buffering. Patience. That's again what we're doing here. Building character.
All you can do is say, thank you for coming out. Thank you for your donation.
Well, I think we're a little off track there. I think we've missed one or two, so let me just put you on hold. All right, we found the location. And we're buffering. Well, I should mention it's raining outside.
Just needs to say good things, write good things. Not say anything bad, anything negative. Not to me, not to you, not to Mom, not to anyone. Not to flaunt her idea that she's superior. Not to think that she's going to be an executor of the state and that she's going to be manipulating and controlling anything, because I just made it very straight and clear that that's just not going to happen. She's not even going to get that. The money's coming to me right now. Okay? It's on its way to me right now until you take a different course of action. Just letting you know. I'll make sure you're living, but I'm going to be the one deciding what you get. You didn't earn that money by working. No, you earned that money by putting me down. And you kept that money by holding me there. Get it? Alright, I don't want to make anything more miserable for you. You've got enough guilt to deal with. And if you don't take some, because I got a lot of false guilt here and I'm sick of it. I've been asking for something reasonable since summer. Telling everybody, if we came back and couldn't function, that hell was going to pay. Guess what? It has to happen. We came back, we're not functional. I'm not a liar, I have integrity. So something has to happen. Someone's going to pay the price. Okay? Now someone is going to pay the price. I got a debt. I'm buying my debt slave back with this debt. And that debt is Mandy Perkins. I'm buying her with that back. I'm buying her right back. And with that money, I'm going to be buying myself back off the Sony shelf. That's right. I'm going to take my life back where I now have control. And you, sir, will sit back and watch and hope that I become the man that you made every effort not knowing to keep me from becoming. I hope it's not too late. You didn't negate it. And there's enough time for me to get healthy enough to be actually effective. Face to face with this Prime Minister, he's done. You can't touch my integrity. He can't open his mouth.
Well, there's a prelude to something coming.
All he can do is say, thank you for coming out. Thank you for your donation. Bye now, with his echo and his laugh.
That's what he's good at.
Yeah, I'll remind people when it comes down to who you're going to vote for. We'll bring all this stuff up. There are a lot of people. We don't want to hate Trudeau. We just want to get him out of power and put him in the... We want to remove his silver spoon, take everything from him and let him live like the rest of us for a couple of months. That's what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to make sure he spends time in a federal prison, is what we want to do. To send a very clear message to the globalists of just what we will do to you as we do to our government. Okay? We take out the bullshit, and then we go above that and take out the upper bullshit. And then when they don't want to be taken out, we basically give them a death threat that says, fine, go run, go hide, we're going to come after you and we're going to take you out. But that means you're going to go underground, and that's where you're going to stay. And you already heard that case, haven't you? Oh, I'm just going to get ramped up and ready and practicing my speeches now, right? I have nothing else to live for in a normal life down here, so I might as well be the fighter and just stand alone and just bring everything something good, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I settle, I guess, right? There's no such thing as settling. It's never over. Okay, it's just people come, people go. Some go into the future, some stay in the past. Oh, you had this argument. You heard me do this speech too. Right now I have to leave you back in the past with everyone else. The problem is I'm now going back to the past to go back to where it was making sense. Retrace my steps and start from there and go forward. Which was 6 months before all the shit happened when my door was broken down. That's where we're going back to. And we're going to start from the start.
That's what we're going to do, Mandy. You feel encouraged? The fire's in the right place, but we're not going to talk about fire and all that crap you hear in the Pentecostal circles. It's not like that. But you hear what it's like. Oh, I got incoming. Hang on. Okay, so now we're going to discuss not penal direction, the correctional system. That doesn't generate success, that generates career criminals. Doesn't help the mentally unwell or the spiritually challenged. No, it just locks them in a place and keeps them away from it. And for some, they do get their epiphany moment alone in a cell with God, but for too many, they don't. In the mental health system, of course, they're not going to address the complete solution, and they're not driven on the needs of the unwell. They're driven on keeping the needs of the well, or actually more unwell, employed and in life, feeding off of those who are unwell. Keep them in a band-aided state, never providing a cure solution, which is exactly what pharmacy, the business, the system is set up for. Okay? You're paying into a system you shouldn't even have to pay for. The top end should be providing everything to you free, and it should be available even at the levels of the medications and the science that they have they're withholding from us. I'll resume. I'm going to buffer it. It could take a few seconds.
For the Jesus regime is such that you must be an individual who is seeking Christ and is lost, or is presently in the mental health system or the justice system, and is prepared to, as a means of redirection, deter from their disposition to my program. To qualify for the program, there are a few things. You must not have a violent record. Any violence on your record to qualify for this program must mean that you will do a anger management program. There's another one I don't want to say here. And Christianity 101. This is an alternative. You can't have a violent record or any violent offense in any way, shape, or form. You'll be excluded from this regime unless you go through two other programs first. That anger management and the equivalent of a psych evaluation. If you qualify, then it'll be set up where an application can be made to the court, and if the court awards it, that person would then be put into the custody in the hands of an individual which will be within the church. And that would be their position and their office, and they'd be sworn in as a peace officer. We're setting up an alternative to the system that's run through and out of the church where Christ is the focus, not a man trying to make money. Make sense? Okay, I'm just going to keep putting the dream and vision and how it's all unfold now.
Here we go, people. You ready to embrace it? You feel it going now? You feel it? You see it? You want it? It's only better than what you got, as far as I'm concerned. We're still buffering.
And the program will probably work on a probationary basis. Until we separate from the state, the program will probably include the equivalent of a probation officer, which would be nothing more than just a check-in. But then there will also be a regular check-in with someone in the pastoral staff. So, like I have Sharon from Loft as a housing worker, instead of going to jail, instead of going to hospital, if you qualify for this new regime, God, just keep giving it to me. I'm going to stop here. You just let me come in for a minute.
This is God speaking, people. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm not that vessel, that conduit, that the stuff that I'm getting is not from God, that it's from the other side. Help me know who I am so that I can be who I am to you in conviction. I'm pretty firm. I know what I'm looking for is confirmation. Now, I resume. We're buffering again. Patience of a prophet.
If you're federally charged and facing prison time, that prison time cannot exceed 4 years. So if the sentence proposed is 4 years or more and you're looking for redirection, that individual must go through 4 years of whatever disposition they're heading towards, trying to make approval for this program, where there'll be an opportunity down the road to make application, if one should so choose, to go into this program, alternative to others. And just like you have anger management and all those others, okay? I want to make it an acceptable option for those that are not violent, the smaller crimes, the ones that are more easily correctable, and we're going to give them a better avenue to serve out their time. How are we going to go all about it? There's an awful lot that would have to get there, and it's a big thing. Not a lot of time to do it. But if you want this Canada to work, this is going to happen. The problem is you've got a system that will continue to fail people. As long as people are stupid enough to not realize that they are not getting better, they'll continue doing what they're doing, and they'll continue doing what they're doing, and they won't let you know that you're going nowhere.
Now, let me just stop there. Take a minute.
Anyway, this and next year is going to be a purpose I'm not going to disclose here, but we are in the final stages, the denouement. We're wrapping up the exposure and the evidence here.
And we're buffering. So now we're giving you an update on where we're at, and where I'm at, because I don't know exactly what's out there doing what they're doing.
Phase, which is basically the collection of all evidence, names, whistleblower information stuff. Stuff's all being kept off site. Now looking forward, that's all I got my focus on is this new program, this new regime. Hey, your penal system failed me. Your mental health system failed me miserably. And because you have a system that will fail people miserably over and over and over again, you need someone like me to get in there and get them out of it before you ruin their lives and let you know that there's another regime that works. And of course, here's the other problem. Now you're going to have an Islamic one that wants, and you're going to have a Hindu one that wants that one, and everyone's going to want their own. However, this is Jesus' regime. This is no one else's regime. You got another program? That's fine. You do your thing. No, this is a Jesus program. This is the Shiva program and the Diwali program. No. So they'll go through a probationary period, up to 3 years. And while they're in that program, of course, they're going to be receiving biblical training. There'll be some kind of a course to go alongside it. There may be even a community program or two, depending on the circumstances of the individual. The whole idea, though, is now what we're going to do is we're going to redirect the whole situation that would normally be dealt with in a jail, programs that have maybe 50% success and retainment rate, and a mental health system that is tapped, zacked, and nothing good for the people, just for the guys at the top. It's not good. It doesn't serve the solution. It doesn't serve the greater good of everybody. This one does, because those that are successful always turn into great people, and world changers with what they need. So this is kind of where we're going and what I'm going to pitch.
What do you think? Is that visionary? Is that attainable? Does everyone want to kind of maybe work to that end or what? Or should I just put myself back up on the cross and leave myself there? What do you think? Shall I come back off that cross and come alive or what? I resume. And we're buffering.
Yeah, so what do? Make the suggestion. We have to legalize this now. But I knew the government would jump on this because I also knew how they dealt with it in the 60s. That's fine. You can bring this stuff in, but don't be so stoned that you're useless. All right? Get yourself together. Get organized. And just don't be an ineffective vessel when you do it. All right? Yeah, I'm the guy that ensured that your marijuana was made legal because we don't need a prison planet. It's ridiculous. Now all of a sudden it was legal for people to carry 30 grams on them, many of which needed it for their medication. They weren't using it to get high. They were using it to stay comfortable, normal, and healed. And of course, by the way, we just throw that stigma and tradition away and say, oh, we're all drug addicts. Everybody listening to me is a drug addict because they get dopamine hits every time they look at their phone. The same thing someone gets if they smoke a joint. So what's the difference? Socially acceptable, yeah. One day, the cell phone will be as taboo and as looked as bad as your so-called demonizing of marijuana. But I'll tell you right now, it's no different. You can no longer look down at me and I can no longer look up at you as long as you carry this thing and you rely on it. I hate it. So I turn my notifications off. I got this notification cleaner. My phone doesn't ring at all. All my notifications go somewhere, and then when I decide I'm going to look at them, then they're all there. I suggest you do that with your phone if you haven't too. What you want to do is try and minimize this phone making noises and alerting you and keeping you busy and distracted. All right, that's the strategy. Okay, counteract the psyop of all these phones.
Now, was that heavy or what? Buffering. Hang in there.
And this afternoon, $300 loan was made applicable and should be approved and processed and in Deborah's bank by tomorrow afternoon, between afternoon and 6 o'clock. I can send you your 100 back. And we got to figure out what we're going to do. It'll be 400 short next month, and I'll be on a payment plan for my rent. I'm just going to get to a point where I'm going to be on the front door of the steps and say, look, the world has just bled me dry, and now I don't have a place anymore. Okay? Now you need to take and pick me up and start taking an expediting law. No. This is a man that had it all that now has nothing and didn't do anything to deserve that. No. Yeah, you see why this has got to be dealt with. It's going to be dealt with a certain way. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I really hope you played all of this and you all had a good sit-down chat. And I hope you weren't talking trash, and I hope it was objective, and I hope you made good use of that time, because you're not going to get that again. All right? The only way you get another Thanksgiving or another Christmas with me is that you already know. You concede defeat and you start coming on my side and work with me instead of against me. And that's the same for Jennifer. So that's it. Like I said, I got a job to do. I'm going to do it. If you're in my way, God's going to remove you. So don't put yourself in a position to do that. Have God do that, okay? Recap. Doesn't need to be one. You got the timeline. There's nothing more I can do. I can't be a better Jesus. No one on this planet can do this any better. No one can do it like I do, to quote Mandy Perkins, my wife to be. Shut up, my wife to be. Shut up, my wife to be.
haven't been able to say that in a long time. It's just the way it's going to be without something undesirable happening. And I know it's going to be wonderful with the right amount of time, with the right amount of God.
I was also speaking with a few people with regards to why 14 Turks a day were coming to my page. Turkish people. And what I figured out over the last year, there's a few things happening with Turkey. There's a Christian revival, a new church they're trying to plant, a big church. All those guys over there that were Christians and not Islamic, they were looking at me like they're looking for a miracle. Okay, they're looking for someone with a miracle to validate that there's a God, that's their God, that they stand up for. They want to validate that they can build a church there in Turkey. And they were all looking at me because I was producing some pretty crazy things. All right, some unexplainable things. Well, that's what I found out. So that's the one thing they're looking for. They were looking for a hero or some kind of to validate their claim that and substantiate that their God is the God, that their church should be put in there and it should stay there right in the center of Islam.
Wow. And we're getting near the end. And buffering. So what do you think, folk? Pretty heavy, eh? Yeah, maybe down to earth? Or what?
And then, of course, the other group, they are watching me to see what my next moves are. I should let you know because I think you should know. I mean, it's reasonable to assume that one third of my followers are bots. 1/3 of my followers are bad people and government and the kind of people that you really don't want watching you. I say probably half of the people watching me right now are probably people that I don't want watching me. And the other half is just government, terrorist watch or whatever. Protection watch, some bullshit. With all this stuff going on, I'm pretty still calm and collective as a cucumber. Well, I gotta really qualify as a threshold of being paranoid schizophrenic. I ain't afraid of anything right now. I don't hear audible voices. No. There's no audible voices in my head that are audible like you would speak to me. So, no, that's not. It doesn't fit. Delusion disorder. Well, to be delusion disorder means you have to be well into believing a false belief, but then have that belief lifted within 30 days. I'd say you're well past delusion disorder when you go 19 years of a delusion and it's put right in front of you. I would say you're suffering more from a psychotic disorder. Yeah, the very thing you said I'm suffering. I'll make a case and put it right back at you. And the judge and the doctors. If I have to. You're putting me and forcing me on medication because I had a false reality. The fact is, it was a total reversal. So how are we going to deal with this? I was the one that went to hospital, but you were the one that was supposed to go to hospital. And everyone else that wanted to believe the police contrary to the horse's mouth telling them the truth.
And then we have a whole bunch of songs, yes. So, I have a YouTube page. I invite you to it. And not all the videos are there. And there are a lot that are unavailable and available to special some or those who request them. And, of course, you go to YouTube and you spell my name the way you see it on my Twitter page there. You'll see two people there, one on a motorbike and on one that has my picture. Of course, that's the one you want. And you're going to start to see some content come out there next season. But where you're really going to see God's face is wherever I desire to be or am physically at. Another place you can go on YouTube is type in Chelsea Effect. I'm still trying to remember if it's Affect or Effect. I've seen both. But it should take you to a musician's page with a lady singer and a bunch of guys playing instruments. I've had many bands that I've worked with over the years that many didn't know, even I worked with maybe. This is one that's kept with me for quite some time. And we both didn't know what to think because we've been given a false sense of what is and left with that and unable to confirm or deny it. It's kind of where we're at now. So I would direct you to her music because it tells a story, it tells a tale, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in it. But I'm certainly capable of illuminating it in a way that nobody else except maybe Mandy could. So we're wrapping this up to be able to get to the next phase, to organize and put all the professionals and that in place before prescribed time so that we can get a move on it, because it doesn't happen overnight. So what I would ask is that all those who are prayer warriors take and lift your hands up and give it to God. And have Him oversee it, have Him anoint and appoint, have Him remove that which is necessary and stubborn and disobedient, so that we have what's in place to move positive and forward with no factions, dissensions, discord. I'm better than you. I want this position. I make more money than you. Ha ha. No, we'll have none of that in my government. None of that in my regime. There is no lines between people. Economic, tradition, color skin, all that. We're human. We have the same amount of chromosomes. Our DNA is just all wonderfully different, which is why we're so special as individuals and unique. And when that one special God moment says, well, now you've got 2 or 3 or 8 that are all the same, well, I don't even know what that kind of a family would be like, to see the same of everything change as they grow up only because of the environment and the people they hang around. But they would, biologically, you would think, have the same start, right? Isn't that interesting? Someone might look at that like a social experiment, and I'm sure that many in the government, especially bad government, have. So this is also one last warning to bad government. The gig's up. I have nothing to say and nothing to do with it, but I am a very powerful prayer warrior, and there is a bunch of people with me that don't have to really do much, go anywhere, spend much in order to make the changes. Because we do realize that we are not fighting each other in person where it will make a difference, but where we present our case to the heavenlies, where there is a battle that affects everything down here that we have no control over at their level. So why would you fight the battle down there that is only superseding and trumped and actually the battle that's being fought up there? So direct it up there and expect the results of up there to occur down here. Now, does that make sense? Is that fiction or truth? I believe it's truth, and I have for a long time. So if this is not true, then I am, in essence, suffering a psychotic disorder. And I think after a year or 2 or 3, since 2012 of going with this, many haven't had an opportunity to come up and provide me a valid argument for anything and anything contrary to what it is you've heard. This is a man of God operating in 100% faith, putting himself secondary to all others, as he's been brought up to model after. Not the Jesus you have or know now, certainly through the media, but the only Jesus you're going to get to know, having spent your eyes and ears and time in 4 books of the New Testament, of the best translation of the Bible you could have. And at this point, in my position, other than getting into Septuagint, all that other little stuff, that the King James is the safest we have to cross-reference what you're using. And with that, I leave you today with Canada's Thanksgiving and pray a blessing and a thanksgiving for everyone, not just in Canada, not just coast to coast in the Holy Ghost, no, but around the world. All those places that are actually a lot worse off than we are here in Canada, that we take so much for granted. Do you hear me? Do you hear what you don't hear in Trudeau? Do you hear what you don't hear in any of the other leaders in government now? Well, I would expect if they want to be elected that you're going to start to hear this. And you're going to start to see a different attitude, treatment in that against that which you've excluded and made a double standard, and that is Christians that are not practicing or believe in that term religion, but in relationship, which I've already described to you today. So here's another talk, about an hour. $16,000 an hour. Unattainable to some, drop in the bucket for others. I do exorcisms when I'm stronger. I work with people who are challenged spiritually. And I'm not all that, but I have had some experience. And I want to be there for people in whatever capacity I can. And if I'm weak, I will not approach a spiritual issue because I don't need that spiritual issue coming into me. When I go into this, it bounces off of me and goes where it belongs, or it doesn't happen at all. And don't just take it from me. I'm just not one. There are many of us out there who have this. Many of us practice this. Many of us don't know we have it and have yet to practice it, don't believing that we can heal. And again, when the doctors heal, when the pills and the medication apparently seem to heal, the one true healer in control and above it all, the one true physician, and the credit goes to Jesus Christ. Not to the doctor. He's just the vessel. Not to the pill where it's not witchcraft. It is something to help mitigate the evil that comes upon you while you deal with it spiritually. Okay? The pills you take is a mitigation. It is a Band-Aid. It is not a cure and a solution. 99.9% of the time, it's not created and meant to be that way. Educate yourself. God bless you. Have a good night, good day, good season. We'll see you next time.